What's up, everybody? Welcome back to the channel. This here is Legitical Response. We cover political news, keep you up to date, keep you informed of everything that the government does, because the government does all kinds of stuff. They do stuff we don't like all the damn time. Sometimes they do stuff we do like. And, as of recently, we've been noticing that, damn, Republicans seem to be spineless, right? You got lawfare out the wazoo coming from the Democrats. They know what they're doing with this, apparently, because they are going after anybody and everybody that they can. Does not matter if it's a legitimate case or not. Look at Donald Trump. You can't tell me that you don't think that some of that is politically motivated. Even if you're on the left, if you're a Democrat, you got to look at some of that and realize that, you might think Trump is guilty for whatever, and hey, I respect your belief in that, I guess. I don't believe the same thing. I think he's innocent on the indictments themselves. Innocent, just saying somebody's innocent, that's obviously, Donald Trump's done some bad stuff. I'm sure we all have, including you and myself. I've done a lot of bad stuff, but, that's not what we're here to talk about. We're not talking about me. We're talking about the government, right? You could look at somebody and say, yeah, they've done bad stuff, but what they're going after him, just look at the New York fraud case, this whole ordeal, the $454 million restitution that they got to pay to New York State dropped to $175 million. They're calling that a win for Donald Trump. He shouldn't have to pay that in the first place. That's absolutely insane. But then what does Donald Trump do? Somehow boost his damn net worth through the freaking wazoo by having Truth Social merge with this other little company. And by the way, get this. You know what? Truth Social is now trading on the stock market, right? I'm sure y'all have heard that. If you haven't, yeah, Truth Social is now trading on the stock market. It's now publicly traded. And the letter, the acronym or whatever that is, I'm sorry. I have brain problems sometimes, but
the swamp is back in full force.
When you look at it on the list of all the companies that are trading on the stock market, it says DJT.
First time ever anywhere, the 45th president of the United States.
To me, that's just hilarious. And, it's an amazing move by somebody who is always seems to be in the limelight, seems to be addicted to the limelight, Donald Trump. But that's not what we're talking about today. Let's get into the story. I'm sorry, I've ranted. I went kind of way off topic, but check this out, y'all. Missouri AG sues Media Matters over its X research demands donor names. This is very interesting. Now, if you don't know what this is about, Media Matters actually sued X or Twitter and put out this whole campaign about having some of their posts where advertisements were showing up next to white supremacist and Nazi propaganda posts or some crap like that. You got to look up the story if you want to dig further deep into it. Basically getting a butt ton of advertisers to pull their sponsorships off of X, causing Elon Musk to lose a butt ton of money. Well, we come to find out they went through underhanded means and they manipulated the algorithm to be able to do this, right? We all know that Media Matters, hey, by the way, Media Matters, you suck. Yeah, Media Matters is an extreme left organization that claims they expose social media companies, any kind of corruption going on, stuff like that. They're free speech people, but they're just a far left activist group is all they are. They want to silence everybody except anybody on the left. Basically, if you're not left, then you deserve to be excised from society just completely outright. Yeah, that's communism, by the way. It's Marxist, communist BS, and we need to fight back against this crap, and that's what Missouri is doing by any means necessary. And that is Republicans showing a little bit of spine and fighting back. Of course, Ken Paxton also is suing Media Matters. But let's get into the story. Missouri Attorney General Andrew Bailey yesterday sued Media Matters in an attempt to protect Elon Musk. Yeah, here we go with the mainstream narrative machine twisting shit around. No, he's not protecting Elon Musk. He's going after Media Matters for falsely getting advertisers pulled from the platform. That's what he's doing. But whatever. And X from the nonprofit watchdog group's investigation into hate speech on the social media network. Bailey's lawsuit claims that Media Matters has used fraud to solicit donations from Missourians in order to trick advertisers into removing their advertisements from X, formerly Twitter, one of the last platforms dedicated to free speech in America. Bailey did not provide much detail on the alleged fraud, but claimed that Media Matters is guilty of fraudulent manipulation of data on X.com. That's apparently a reference to Media Matters reporting that X placed ads for major brands next to posts touting Hitler and Nazis. Hitler and Nazis? You mean Nazi propaganda? What does that mean? Posts next to Hitler and Nazis. Yeah, you might want to get your wording a little bit correct there, because that makes no sense. What was it, a picture of Hitler and a picture of Nazis? I don't get that one, but whatever. Sorry for that tangent. X has accused Media Matters of manipulating the site's algorithm by endlessly scrolling and refreshing. Yeah, well, that's what they did. They basically scrolled and refreshed every time until some Nazi propaganda popped up next to an ad. Then they screenshotted that and then told the advertisers, hey, look, they're posting your ads next to this Nazi propaganda. Yeah, it took them countless times to get this to happen. So, yeah, that's manipulation. You can't do that. Of course, how hard would that be to do, by the way? And why would you go to that length to take down a social media platform like X? Like, why would you want to do that? Oh, they're a left-wing activist group hell-bent on the destruction of America. Oh, I see. That's what's going on. Bailey yesterday issued an investigative demand seeking names and addresses of all Media Matters donors who live in Missouri and a range of internal communications and documents regarding the group's research on Musk and X. Bailey anticipates that Media Matters won't provide the requested materials, so he filed a lawsuit asking Cole County Circuit Court for an order to enforce the investigative demand. Because Media Matters has refused such efforts in other states and made clear that it will refuse any such efforts, the Attorney General seeks an order compelling Media Matters to comply with the CID or civil investigative demand within 20 days, the lawsuit said. Media Matters, which is separately fighting similar demands made by Texas, responded to Missouri's legal action in a statement provided by Ars Today, which is the news website I'm getting this from. Far from the free speech advocate he claims to be, Elon Musk has actually intensified his efforts to undermine free speech by enlisting Republican attorneys general across the country to initiate meritless, expensive, and harassing investigations against Media Matters in an attempt to punish critics, Media Matters President Angelo Carusone said. This Missouri investigation is the latest in a transparent endeavor to squelch the First Amendment rights of researchers and reporters. It will have a chilling effect on news reporters. No, as a matter of fact, it won't have a chilling effect on news reporters. It should have a chilling effect on left-wing activists hell-bent on taking down free speech, because we all know that the left wing hates free speech whatsoever. And I can prove this to you outright right now, because think about this. Okay, the First Amendment, and they say free speech, but proven through the Supreme Court in several cases, and there's plenty of case law to get you up to speed on this if you want it. But freedom of speech also covers freedom of expression, right? So we have the right to express however the hell we want to. That's why you can have drag queens have a parade going down the damn road, and there's nothing we can do about it. If you hate drag queens, There's nothing you can do about it. They have the right to express themselves however the hell they want to. That's why I don't understand trans rights. Because what does that mean, right? Because you have the same rights as I do. We all have equal rights. So what are these supposed trans rights that, what gives you the right to have more rights than everybody else? But media matters, right? Tangent news, I'm sorry. Right, so they tried to take advertisers away from Musk in a hell-bent effort to destroy X, right? Because they don't like free speech. For the simple fact that the reason they got the advertisers taken off the platform is because they showed to the advertisers that their advertisements were showing up next to Nazis and Hitler, right? Well, I'll just call it Nazi propaganda, right? Because I'm sure it was some white supremacist posts or some stupid crap like that. And as much as most everybody despises white supremacy and Nazis, as a matter of fact, it's illegal to in Germany to have a swastika anywhere. You can't have that because it means bad things, right? They've totally ruined that symbol, the swastika symbol. Which derived from history from a long time ago. I'm not going to get into where that came from, but, the Nazis took it and ran with it, and now it's a sign of evil. You see a swastika, you're like, oh, that's evil, right? So we had some white supremacy propaganda showing up next to advertisers, right? Well, hang on. Freedom of expression, they have the right to freely espouse those viewpoints if they want to. That falls under free speech. So they're trying to get advertisers taken off of a free speech platform for freedom of speech, for freedom of expression. Who doesn't like the First Amendment?
No! God, please, no! 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 No!
Who's trying to squelch the First Amendment rights of people? Yeah, that's Media Matters. Like I said before, these communists, if they do not espouse communist sentiments, then you don't have the right to free speech in their eyes. You don't have the right to express yourself however you want to. Now, I will admit, white supremacy and all that, it's just garbage. It's just garbage. If you start espousing that crap to me, I'm probably not going to talk to you, to be honest, because that's nothing but hate, most of it, because you hate anything that's not white, right? But, that's another thing that's going on in this country right now. Anybody espousing white supremacy and all this BS, they get excoriated and yelled at and kicked at and kicked off of platforms for hate speech and all this other stuff. But yet you can have these racists get on here, start talking about anti-white crap and white people are the devil and all this other BS, and nobody bats a freaking eye at it. Nobody bats a freaking eye. But, criticizing Elon Musk a little bit here because, yeah, he says he's a free speech absolutist, but he's not. Because you go look at some of the community guidelines or whatever on X, you can't just say what you want, right? They still have a damn preferred pronoun policy. If you start calling somebody by the quote-unquote wrong pronouns, then you can get banned off of X, which that doesn't make sense to me either, because if they're actually a female, but they claim to be a male, right, their delusion or whatever, and you call them by what they actually are, you just misgendered them. Whatever the hell that's supposed to mean, right? But in reality, if you misgender somebody, that would be calling them the wrong gender. If they claim to be the wrong gender and you call them by their actual gender, that's misgendering them. That makes zero sense. So, yeah, I mean, there's other examples of this that I could get into with free speech and X, and it's not so absolute, right? But, for the most part, Elon Musk buying Twitter was one of the greatest things so far of this century, because it has allowed freedom of speech back on the platform, freedom of expression back on the platform in a much greater, a lot more expansive than it was before. It was much more restrictive before Elon Musk bought it. It's still a little bit restrictive, right? You can't just do and say anything you want to, but it's a lot better than it used to be. And plus, it also allowed for the Twitter files to come out, and the YouTube files, and the Facebook files, and all that, and allowed us to learn that the government, the White House, was in touch, contacting these social media platforms, pretty much all of them, and telling them, pretty much almost forcing them to ban people outright and take down this post and take down this video, and, calling it misinformation or whatever, when it's just people giving their political viewpoints a lot of times. Right? They were banning doctors for COVID misinformation, which, come to find out later, like I covered yesterday, that wasn't misinformation at all. It was just not FDA approved, if you will. But that's all I got for this one, y'all. I want y'all to let me know down in the comments what y'all think about all this. Is it well past time that we start getting some Republican attorneys general going after some of these left-wing activist groups like this and start fighting back with this lawfare? I feel it's about damn time that Republicans get a spine and start fighting back with lawfare. A lot of times people, conservatives, we just want to be left alone, right? We don't want to celebrate your pride and all that BS. We just want to be left alone. So that's our default position. Just leave me the hell alone. Live and let live. While the communists, on the other hand, are seeking to excise everybody that's not a communist from society. They want to get rid of everybody. And we know this for a fact because every time communism has been attempted, it ends with piles and piles of dead bodies. So, right, once you get to that communist utopia, it's built upon a damn graveyard, as a matter of fact. So, here in America, we're not communists at all. We have communists. We have the Democratic Socialists of America, which is the communist arm of the Democratic Party, which it seems the Democrat Party, insane as they are, seems to be shifting more and more towards that. Why? I don't know. Identity politics never works out to be a good thing. But like I said, y'all let me know down in the comments what y'all think about all this. Is it damn time? But that's all I got for this one. I want to thank everybody for watching. Don't forget to smash that like button on your way out. And y'all try to be positive. Peace.